Hello everyone and welcome to LSI Saturday to... I'm going to say that again because I did exactly the same mistake yesterday. Alright, hold on a second. Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI summer season. We're here today for the Saturday to the Hungarian Grand Prix Round 1. The first race is a Grand Prix event. And we'll have a sprint race next weekend, of course, with Silverstone. That will be the final race of the season. We have a couple minutes still left of qualifying, 13 minutes as you can see on the clock. Lots of people already setting times as Nifajan, a 16.302, but a 3.45, sorry, I should say, for Dave Raptor. So very close margins. Zingy has gone and displaced everyone and done a 15.7. I think he did a, what was it, a 15.4 or 15.3 yesterday. So he's going to be looking to try and get to that level, maybe even better. Of course, he's had a race distance extra, of course, so he'll be pretty pumped to go. Won that race yesterday in the Friday tier. Let's see if he can do it again right here. This time he's got his old rival, Nifajan, but he's not in an AlphaTauri. He's in a Haas, interestingly. Obviously, the teams are all a bit mixed up, but it doesn't actually affect where you're going to go next season. Official seasons affect official seasons. Summer series and winter series are just free-for-all, team-wise. So what you're looking at is a little bit different, of course, according to what it usually is. But we've got a couple people out on track, a couple people going in, and a couple people coming out on track. Of course, we've got Grajak right here. We've got Igapro who'll go out next. He's already been out on track, but didn't set a lap time earlier on. So he's going again after maybe a bit of an issue just earlier on. Scoring a P2 on a brilliant strategy. Had a bit of a shindig at the beginning of the race. Almost got damaged from a collision with another car. But manages to get away with it and he managed to crawl his way to P2. And he actually got the better of Sebi on the strategy. So very, very well played from him yesterday. Let's see if he can carry that good momentum. He's had, once again, also experience, because not everybody has driven in the Friday tier, so some of these drivers will have that just little bit more knowledge on how to drive this circuit recently. Obviously, if you've practiced, then you will know anyway, but if you haven't practiced, which unfortunately some may not have, at least if they haven't got as much practice, Igapro, he is going to be one to have a bit of an advantage. He does go invalid. He did have a car right in front of him, which never helps. But, yeah, that is a shame. 10 minutes on the clock, though. Still a long way to go. He can get another lap in or two, to be honest. So he shouldn't be worrying too much. We've got Grajak, who is, of course, on the lap as well. They're exiting turn 1, going into turn 3. So they're a long way away from Igapro, but they are the next car setting a lap time. I think, yeah, it's Curran, then Dave Raptors? No, it's Dave Raptors, then Curran's my bad there. So they're going to be looking to set lap times. That is a purple first sector. Usually if you set a purple middle sector, it can sometimes be a bug, but a purple first sector, I'm not sure if there's a bug for the purple first sector. We'll see how it goes for their middle sector, if they keep going purple or not, but obviously, when we get to the end of the third sector, we will know for sure if there has been a bug or not. He goes through turn 11 now, keeping it as flat as he possibly can. Purple sector, of course, is the middle sector as always, into 12. Doesn't ride over that inside curve too much, and keeps it nice and tidy. Not trying to lock up, of course. In the Ferrari, Grajak actually signing up pretty recently, just a couple of hours ago, jumping into the red car across the line. DRS open. What's it going to be for him? It is going to be a 16.6. So that'll put him right in there when he gets his first timed lap on the board. Owen also going for it. Sorry, was it Sebi? No, it wasn't Sebi. I'm thinking Mercedes. It's Sebi. It's automatically Sebi. It's not Sebi. Sebi is in the Williams. Dave Raptors is in the Mercedes. Sebi is in the Mercedes on the Friday today. Very confusing there. But Dave Raptors is also, I don't know if he's just on a lap, but regardless, he's going again, I think, because that is the same lap time that he had earlier on. Curran showed great pace yesterday. Let's see if he can get a second chance at it. Car moving up there. Was that Igapro jumping up the order? It was, I think. It was. It must have been Igapro there. jumping up the order, so good job from him. Here we go, Cohen across the line. What's it going to be for the Aston Martin, the other Aston Martin? That is going to be P2, 1/10 behind Zingy right there. So he is once again looking pretty feisty. Let's hope he has a bit better luck compared to yesterday. He actually had disconnection issues. He had connection issues with his wheel. Cars having to move out of the way from the McLaren once again. So a little bit tricky to navigate. But anyway, yeah. Disconnection issues for Cohen. And of course he also had an injury which meant he had to retire from the session early on. Which is never good, of course. So got to be really careful with that. And I hope he can race the day. But if not, then he may have to exit this one early. But I really do pray that he can stay in this one. Because he can show his true pace like he was doing yesterday, of course. It was very good to see. We've got Heischler, who had a pretty good start yesterday. He also raced on the Friday in the Williams. Let's see if he can try and get a good start this time and execute a good result. Of course, he did get that fastest lap at the end, which was always nice to see, but having a few issues made it pretty difficult for him to progress. That's Dave Raptors taking it for a quick spin, as he's now done 2 laps on that soft tyre, so he's going to be boxing, I'm sure, and coming out again for one final run. We don't know what the weather is, by the way. It's dynamic weather. We do not know what the weather is. The weather will be available to us once the race actually comes around. So these guys might be using high downfall setups, they might not. That is Heischler going again. He actually saved the RS there, so he's going to go again. Let's see how this man's going. He's actually invalidated, so he's going again like Heischler. Deciding not to go into the pit lane. So what he's going to do here is going to go on these kind of like almost scrub tyres, I guess you could say. He's just going to let it be. And then if he aborts this lap, he still has plenty of time to go again. If he doesn't abort this lap, he still would have time to go again, but just a little bit less. As he will have to abort that lap, and that is a heck of a shame. Moving off the racing line, though, very quick thinking there from Zingy, so well done. To get out of the way and not impede anybody. Let's see what he can do a little bit later on. Was that Mikash or Devon Young? Devon Young passes through, I think, and Mikash is behind him. But Devon Young, with first race ever we've seen from him, a league race-wise, he's going to make his debut. We've seen him in a couple of open lobbies, and he was pretty pacey. Let's hope that he can do well today, or very close to track limits. Might have even gone over it, but managed to get away with invalidating into the final few corners now. It looks like he is on a lap, I'm pretty sure. So, final corner, try and keep it nice and smooth. Send it on entry, gradually on the throttle, then full throttle, straighten up the wheel, DRS available, and that is going to be a P7 for now, a 16.4. Mikash almost exactly the same time. He's not going to carry on with this lap as he goes for the in-lap. And he's going to go out again, I'm sure, one final time very shortly. Many drivers will be doing the same, but Zingy has stayed out to go again. Okay, so maybe that was actually an outlap the time before I was talking about. Now, repeat what I said. He's going to go on this scrub set, and if he wants to abort this lap, then he can. He might not need to, though. He would still probably have enough time to go again, even if he completes this lap, but it'll be a bit tight. So, we'll see what he can do. Let's look at the delta. It was pretty much even, down by just about half a tenth. That's Nifo, a 15.5, so getting a nice margin over Zingy here. Zingy all of a sudden now has a fair bit of pressure, and that is going to be a little bit difficult. He's on this older tyre, which is going to be extremely difficult for him to actually improve on, although he does, of course, have a time for another run, extending the track limits of absolutely massively, was only a tenth up across the lines. So even though he tried to abuse track limits during qualifying, which you are allowed to do in qualifying, he wasn't able to improve by too much. You're allowed to extend track limits in qualifying, but you're not allowed to do that in the race, by the way. So make sure you keep that in mind. If you do it in the race, then you're going to probably be in trouble if you do it too many times. In qualifying, if you can get away with it, you are allowed to do it. Zingy didn't get away with it. The game decided, no, you are not doing that today. Grosjean goes and sets a P9 lap there as he puts himself, well, into P9. We do also have Gilly and Igapro on laps. Gilly is, of course, the reigning race winner from the last time around in Abu Dhabi in F1.5. So he's on a high right now. Pursoon having that post-race time penalty did put him up there on the top step of the podium. Igapro starts his lap. Let's see what he can do. A 16.5. Very small margins, I will say. He doesn't need that much time to try and push himself really far up the leaderboard. Just about 2/10 would get him fighting for P5. So he could possibly give it a shot. He was fighting with Sebi yesterday. He was fighting with, I think, possibly Eichler. Trying to give him a tow is Cohen up the hill. This could definitely work. Igor didn't really want it, though, as he moved slightly left. Looked like he wanted to just try and get on with a lap. It's still going to give him a slight advantage. Let's see if it's going to be enough, though. Into the chicane. Absolutely send it on entry. Try and get it stopped. Smooth on the exit. Dip your wheel to the outside. He decides to not actually take the full track, which can be a strategy. It gives you a more stable situation traction-wise, which is always a benefit if you really want to go for it. But no! Oh, what a shame! What a shame! Ah, easily done. He loses the rear, and that is him down. What a shame. I do not believe it. Eager Pro. I don't think he's going to be able to get into the pit lane for that one, so I think that is unfortunately going to be qualifying done for him. And that'll be P10, so he's got a lot of work to do. Maybe he can get in and come back out again, but he's going to have to go absolutely full pelt. Let's see if he can get it done. Gilly, P11 at the moment. He wants to try and improve, of course, as well. So time will tell for him, literally. And he's got one final sector to go to set what is going to be his final lap, because he's timed it that way, which is absolutely fine. He's got a clear track in front, which is always nice, and behind, so no pressure from behind. Now, final corner. What's it going to be for the Haas driver? Returns to Haas. Back in the good old days we saw him in Haas, he goes P9, a 16.5, not able to get any higher than that. Eager Pro retires, decides to not carry on with qualifying, and that has a very small margin between P9 and P11 in the 5/10 range, but absolutely incredible there. Nifojan, currently still on pole on an outlap, so is Zingy. He's not on pole though, he's just behind Nifojan to try and improve. Cohen, he's on a lap. He gave his teammate a bit of a tow. He's actually backed off on this lap. I think he's going to try and go again. Does he have the energy to do so? He does. Eichler, he's starting a lap, I believe, as well. And Sebi, he's actually finishing a lap right here. So the other Williams is going to cross the line. What's it going to be for their final time? And that is going to be a P4 for now, a 16.120. He doesn't get to the 15s, but still, that's not bad job. If he can hold that position, that would be phenomenal for him. Dave Raptors also waiting to go again. Lots of drivers just waiting for the final run. Being on board with Niffer, he's going to be the first one to go for that final run. Other drivers might, of course, be going for laps, but we will stay with this guy, the other Haas, just tapping that inside curve as he loses it on the rear, unfortunately, riding the outside, which is not really what you want to do. Into turn 2 now. Just dabbing the inside curve, which can give you a bit of rotation if you take it correctly. Turn 3, you've got to ride if you want to gain that time, of course, and up to 4, full send. And you've got to try and avoid the brakes. You just want to lift a bit, shift down, and then carry on the throttle. Once again, losing the car, very, very close to bottoming out and calling it a day on that lap, but they still carry on. So they are struggling a little bit, but they're still on track, and they can still improve if they really find the rest of the lap. But I don't know if that's going to be possible. Turn 11, out to turn 12, and invalidating. It was down by 2/10 anyway. It will not be enough. Heichler to P2 at 15.5. Ziggy! He's made a mistake and he will not be able to compete for pole position. Heichler is currently sitting right there. Cohen is not going to be able to go again. Sebi into the pit lane. Dave Raptors invalidates Devon Young. What can he do right here? I don't know if he can improve, but that is absolutely crucial. Nifojan currently sitting on pole position. Devon Young is the only one that can say otherwise, but he makes a mistake and he is out of qualifying as well. And that is going to be Nifojan on pole position with his fellow countryman Heichler in P2. Absolutely incredible. Zingy making a mistake on his final run. and that is going to cost him the front row of the grid. The front row of the grid. He will once again, though, share a row with Cohen, who sits right behind him in P4. Very, very crazy qualifying right there. Nifojan takes pole position. He does... I'm going to say it. I know I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is one of his good circuits. He is just very good at this circuit. Alright, Nifojan takes pole position, Heischer in P2, Zingy in P3. This is the rest of the grid, and then we'll skim through the race director just in case if we need to a little bit later on, of course. And then we'll be back for the race. We'll see in a bit. Look at the margins for pole position. Absolutely incredible. Ready? Hold! Go! Who's gonna get it into turn one? We are finally away! Nifojan starts well. There's a car up. Unfortunately, Tuval is down the order, and it's all a little bit tricky. Ziggy is trying to get an advantage. He dives to the inside! I do not believe he's going to go off the circuit, and he's going to have to return those positions. Cohen is now going to lead. Nifojan somehow dropping to P3. Ziggy is no way going to get away with that one. He has to return it. Otherwise, he's going to get a post-race penalty, which will screw him even harder. There's contact as he tries to close the door. More issues. I do not believe it. Absolute madness. Nifojan down to P4 and Zingy all the way to the back of the field. That's Sebi to P3. Heischer's had an issue off the start, unfortunately. Dave Raptors has managed to get himself to P2. Absolutely phenomenal. Incredible stuff on the start for these guys. Cohen leads the way, and that's exactly what he wanted. He can show his pace here. Can he make it work? Mikash, Devon Young, the two Red Bulls following each other, so doing a good job. There's a car off just ahead. Heischer taking a little bit of a moment off the circuit, diving to the inside as the Red Bull, but he's not going to be able to get that one done. Not close enough, but an effort for sure. He gave it his best shot. That is a big switch up on the opening lap. Gilly P8, Eager Pro up to P9, of course, as Tiva had an issue themselves. I don't think they've got damage. I believe they've managed to get away with it. Unless they might have it on the right-hand side. They're not going to go into the pit lane, so they should be good. And Zingy doesn't have damage, but of course, maybe a little bit of pride. Cohen leads the way on lap 2. We don't know the weather yet, but he does have the advantage regardless, so he should be good to go. He will be controlling the strategy as of now. Talking about strategy, let's have a look at the tyres real quick, just so we can see Mikash on the medium, Tival. Everyone else on the hard tyre, the standard strategy. Sebi learning from yesterday to try and go for that faster strategy. Can he make it work this time? It looks like he can so far. He's got the car in front of him under pressure, but he's also got a car right behind him ready to pounce on any mistakes that he makes, if he makes any mistakes. Dave Raptors, he can't seem to find an answer to Cohen's pace on that Aston Martin. He's doing a very good job. Nifojan got to be careful with that one, otherwise they could be finding themselves in a bit of trouble, as they do unfortunately extend track limits again. That's not the first time they've done it, so they do need to be very, very cautious in how they approach the rest of this race. Sebi is nice and close. Dave Raptors has actually managed to get pretty close here to Cohen. As you can see, Dave Raptors going for the fastest lap, as he does manage to get within DRS range, so that's going to help him for sure. But DRS are not quite available just yet. It will be available on the next lap. We don't know the weather. The weather could change. Dave Raptors will probably want to try and get a move on here if the rain is coming. If you can get ahead before the pit stops with wet conditions, then you're going to have an incredible advantage. Here we go. Mikash is going to have a look on Heisler on that medium tyre. Space is minimal. He's managed to get it done, but going off the circuit there is Heisler. That's going to be a bit tricky for him. It's going to allow Mikash to get nice and close again. He's going to send it back to the inside. Space is very tight, and that is Mikash in the wall and out of the race. I do not believe it. How did he DNF from that contact? He's now going to have a virtual safety car deployed for his car, and that is Mikash, one Red Bull out. What a shame. What a shame. Virtual safety car deployed only, like we saw yesterday with our first retirement, and it's going to allow things to relax, but not everyone will be able to close up too much. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff, and that is such a shame. Such a shame. One of the medium tyre runners is out, so Tival is the only one on that medium tyre right now. Dave Raptors, Sebi in P3, he's got Nifajam right behind. Depending on how these guys do on the restart, of course, you need to make sure you're really on it. The gaps can change very, very quickly. Maybe Dave Raptors will lose DRS range. Maybe Sebi will also lose DRS range. We'll see. But Nifojan seems to be keeping quite close to the back of that Williams. So as long as he can keep that going, he might be able to find a move on his hands. Of course, we saw he does have very good pace from qualifying, setting a pole position worthy lap. Waiting for the green flag, and then we'll go racing once again. And there you go, the green flag, and what a restart for Dave Raptors, and what a shame there for Sebi, but also an issue for Nifojan, because he was 6/10. Now he's even further behind, and he's got himself a 3-second time penalty. So chaos going on track, even though they're not racing side by side. We've got Igapro, who's very close to the back of the Ferrari. That's a Grosjean, and Gilly is also very close to the back. So crazy stuff going on. Sebi not able to get a very good restart on the virtual safety car, but Dave Raptors doing an amazing job. He's going to get the first dose of DRS, and he might even have a go for the lead if he's going to really push for it now. Gilly doesn't have DRS, whereas Grosjean does. Can't seem to challenge too much. Is Igapro going to be behind and close enough to make some kind of move? I don't think so. Grosjean might have a go if he can get the exit, but no, I think he's going to have to sit behind still and wait for a later move. Gilly, is he using low downforce, high downforce? We will never know until we see some sort of overtake. The top two doing a great job. Cohen leads the way on lap 5, and Dave Raptors sitting in P2. Even if Cohen does have an injury, he's going to want to hold on to this lead for as long as he possibly can. If he does feel like he needs to give up, I hope he does, because I want him to be well for future races. I don't want him to have a permanent injury. That's Grosjean to the inside, and he's now going to try and make it work in the twisty turny sections. He's going to go off the circuit as Gilly is going to hold the position. Grosjean drops back. Igapro's trying to have a look to the inside, and that's Zingy trying to have a go now, and he's going to try and switch through on Igapro, and I think he might even get the move done. He's going to go very, very deep. Grosjean now to the inside of Zingy, and he's going to get the traction. Zingy's not going to let that one slide. He's going to try and hold it as best as he can. Just about getting it done with Grosjean backing off there. He's now got the DRS. Gilly not got the DRS. He's using all the energy. It's Zingy, and he's going to send it to the inside line. He really wants to make the move. Oh, that was so rude, but he's got it done. fair and square, absolutely incredible. And now that means Gilly, Grzak, EgaPro stay as they are, but they've just lost a position to Zingy. Absolutely incredible. Well spotted there from Zingy. Almost a mistake there for Grzak, but luckily for him, EgaPro also has a little moment. Epic stuff going on battle-wise. It's very, very treacherous. The top two, they're kind of just relaxing at the moment. They're in a bit of a train, a bit of a rhythm. Sebi had a little bit more pressure from the car behind, but also, of course, not getting that great restart, which now puts him out of that DRS range. So he just needs 1 or 2 good laps and he can be back in that top train. But right now, he's got to focus on the car behind and securing that P3 position. I'm sure it's not what he wants to do. I'm sure he wants to try and go for the win. But right now, he's looking at that P3. He needs to try and either push for it or make sure that he thinks about the longer game to keep Niffer behind. Because currently, Nifferjan isn't actually that close and not really pushing massively to make an overtake. He doesn't actually have the ability to push massively because he doesn't have any energy. Zingy already going to go for an overtake on Devon Young. So that is the Red Bull losing a position to the Alpha Tauri car. And he'll secure that with a DRS. Of course, side by side, Grzak gives it a second opportunity. And I think he's going to get the move done this time. He's got the DRS to secure it, as Zingy did just before. So that'll be that done. EgaPro is going to have to try and find a way through. I believe that there is higher downforce on Grzak's car, which allowed him to make that move, of course, through those corners. Gilly just wasn't able to fight back, unfortunately. EgaPro, he's going to have a look at some point soon, I'm sure. Devon Young getting a time penalty, so that is our second time penalty of the race. That is a moment there for EgaPro as he getting a little bit loosey-goosey. Lap 7 out of 35, but I shouldn't be dead for a while yet. But of course, Dirtier is never easy in a circuit like this, especially this section. He's going to go for the move already, wants to get it done. And try and have the advantage in the corners and try and maybe get DRS of Grzak, but it's not going exactly to plan. Tival retires on track, but it's a voluntary retirement, so a safety car will not be deployed. EgaPro does get through, but Gilly is going to get DRS, and it's not what EgaPro wanted. He wanted to try and get DRS of the cars ahead. If he blasts his ERS, he might have a go. Gilly's not actually going to challenge back. He's just going to sit behind now. And Devon Young, all of a sudden, now going to be under pressure from Grzak. He's got DRS, but he won't be able to go just yet. Lots of things switching up. 2 DNFs already. Absolutely crazy stuff going on this race already. But yeah, lots of battles. And we've got a couple that are just waiting to go as well. The top 2, we've got the final spot of the podium as of now. And then, of course, a battle for P7 with Grzak. Which is going to be very, very entertaining, I'm sure. Going to try and give it their very best. Now, pit stop wise, everybody is on a hard tyre, so I have no idea if rain is going to be inbound, and if it is, it will probably be later on, because the chances are if you go for that hard tyre, you're going to be pushing all the way until the rain kicks in. Otherwise, I think most people are just going to go for the standard strategy. Now, not really in an overtaking position at the moment, Dave Raptors, but he is nice and close. He uses a bit of ERS and gains very, very quickly to maintain that pressure on Cohen, so doing a phenomenal job right there. Sebi, 2.2 seconds behind. Nifferjan is close, but they're just not saving any ERS. They can't seem to harvest it, so it's a little bit difficult. Heischler sitting in no man's land in P5. That is a switch up there as Devon Young loses out big time to Grzak. And that is EgaPro going to send it to the inside. He's going to really give it a shot. Can he go for the switch back here on the Red Bull? He does back off. And Devon Young takes the racing line. Doesn't want to back off too early. He wants to see and be cheeky just in case. Devon did give him the space, but he didn't. And EgaPro will just have to sit back and relax for the moment. Grzak making that progress to P7, so doing a good job right there. EgaPro, he's nice and close to the back of the Red Bull. Gilly not able to stay with the Aston, but maybe he can get back on this some point. At some point later on, we'll see. DRS isn't going to be available for Devon either, so
Pro should have a pretty straightforward move right here if he really wants to get it done. 7 tenths for both current Dave Raptors, and then of course the battle of Sebi and Nifo. Here we go though, Pro and Devon Young. This is the one that we want to see. This is an overtake that is very possible, and he's got a lot of straight line speed in that car. He's nice and close. Devon Young's gonna not gonna give the position up. He's gonna try and fight as best as he can. He doesn't have the DRS. Pro has the outside line, so he should have good traction when you get to the exit of turn 10. Devon is not giving it up. Pro to the curb, maximizing everything he can on the track to open up that steering, and I think he's going to have to give it up this time. He's nice and close up the hill, but it's not good enough for an overtake. Very well fought there for Devon Young. Pro, however, just had too much power in a straight line. In the meantime, Zingy has got himself a 3-second time penalty, so that's the third driver getting themselves a 3-second time penalty. Zingy having that issue early on in the race. He's then got even more problems now, of course, which is never what you want to see. So he's made the race even more difficult for himself. Of course, he was fighting Cohen early on in the Friday tier for that win. Cohen had a few issues, and it was a pretty straightforward drive to the line to win that race. This time he's P6 on lap 11 with a 3-second time penalty. He does go fastest, so he's definitely got pace in that car, but it's not going to be that easy. 2.3 seconds is the gap that splits him and Heischler, which has changed a fair bit, but it's kind of not closing as much as I thought it would do. Heischler, however, he's closed up a fair bit on Nifojan and Sebi. Have they been fighting? Because Nifojan's a lot closer than he's ever been. So these guys might have been fighting a little bit here. We'll see. But also close together. Oh, and that's Nifo making a mistake, losing it on the curb. Into the chicane, he'll go to try and recompose himself. If he can hold on to the DRS, that'll be lovely for him. But that is an opportunity there for Sebi to break away. Absolutely crucial mistakes right there. Not easy at this stage of the race. The tyres are getting a little bit tired. You kind of lost your focus. It's not ready to pit yet, but it's not the beginning of the race when there's lots going on. So you kind of just get distracted maybe. But yeah, that is a heck of a shame. He'll still be able to challenge. He just needs a little bit more to get that DRS. Let's see. Across the DRS detection line, he didn't get DRS. He's going to have to wait for another lap. Let's see if he can get it on this lap. But what I wanted to say is Dave Raptors and Cohen, they're close together now. Dave Raptors is definitely thinking about making a move at some point if he possibly can. He wants to give it a shot, and that does definitely show that we could be making our way to the pit lane at some point soon for a set of fresh tyres, whether it be wet or slick compound. Nifojan's still not able to close in, so currently this is the closest battle. We've also got Devon Young and Gilly, who might have a little bit of a shindig very shortly. Heischler gets himself the 3 seconds, so that's now 4 drivers having issues with track limits. It's not easy. It is not easy. Dave Raptors right behind. He's nice and close. 5 tenths. These guys have been fighting closely in the last season of F1.5. Let's see if they can fight once again. DRS available. And he's going to be nice and close, but not close enough to make an overtake. So he is just going to sit and wait for the time being. We're not going to be pitting for a long while yet. And Zingy actually extending it into the 20s. Of laps, of course. That is Heischler losing the position to Zingy, and Heischler had that time penalty, maybe made a mistake and got the time penalty, and then of course he does miss out. Unfortunately, Devon Young also missing out on Gilly. We're going to quickly go to this side-by-side battle right here just before we go to the next corner. Is Devon going to try and send it back to the inside? He will not. Gilly is not going to let him go to the inside anyway, so he will hold on. But back to this. Oh no, is he going to get a run? He's going to use the energy. I don't think he's going to be close enough. Let's see if he tries to give it a shot into the chicane. I think he will have a very hard time at getting an overtake done in the chicane. But yeah, very good effort. Back to Zingy. Heisler must have made that mistake that allowed him to get nice and close. But to make that overtake, Zingy's used all of his energy. He's used everything to try and close in and get that move done. Slowly picking his way through the field. He is actually not that far away from the race leaders right now on lap 13 out of 35. Not quite halfway yet. He is 5.4 seconds behind. He does have a 3-second time penalty though. So it's going to be about 8 seconds. Goes fastest once again. And he's now going to catch up to the battle of Nifo and Sebi. Nifo's just about got the DRS. Not quite this lap, but the next lap he will do. And that's going to make it very difficult for Zingy to be able to make an overtake because a DRS train will always make it harder. But we'll see if he can find a way. We will see if he can find a way. Not going to be easy as I said, but it's never impossible. 2 seconds splits Dave Raptors and Sebi. That's pretty much stayed as it is. So he's on pace with the front runners. He just can't seem to close in as much as he needs to get in that train. And I'll be quite honest, I think Dave Raptors and Cohen are happy with that because that keeps Zingy, who is so quick right now, behind and keeps them safe, of course, at least for the pit stops. They won't have to worry for any kind of switch up. A 1.6 second gap already splits Zingy and Nifojan. So Zingy is on an absolute roll right here. Dave Raptors now 6 tenths behind, not as close as he has been before, but gets a pretty good final corner. He's not going to go for the overtake yet, and we're not hitting just yet either. We're going to go to this battle right here. No, Devon Young makes a mistake, unfortunately, on the final few corners, and he will not be able to fight back off the Haas, so he will sit behind and wait, currently taking the last point in this race. Alrighty, Cohen leads the way. It's getting closer than ever, this gap, so not exactly easy. The pressure is building as we get closer to the pit stop window. We're on lap 15, about to start lap 16 of 35, sorry. And lap 16 to 18 is the usual pit wins. So if you do go for the overcut, you're likely, well, you're kind of likely to be able to hold on. Because, of course, you go 1 lap extra with a warm set of tyres. You will stay in front momentarily. Then the car behind will be close behind, but it's not easy to overtake because it's Hungary. I don't know. But what we've seen in the past, just to fact check it, of course, yesterday as well, if you go for an undercut, you're going to have a nice advantage. So the undercut is the way to go. Will Dave Raptors try and go for that undercut, or is he going to try and follow Cohen and see what he does? I don't quite know. I think he probably wants to try something a little bit different. Of course, though, the earlier you pit, the worse your tyres will be later on. Not going to go to the pit lane just yet. Sebi is not going to either. Nifo is not going to either. And interestingly, Zingy won't either. I'm surprised at that. I thought he might have tried to go for a little bit of a stream undercut and then maybe had a go at possibly overtaking everybody kind of not off track, although he does like to do that, but I mean like over time, of course. Overtaking them on net time. There you go. Very intense for the top 5 right here. Heisler is right behind them as well, but they'll need to wait for these guys to crash if they are going to have some sort of situation. The moment of truth is awaiting. If we get pit stops, then it is going to be a dry race. If we don't get pit stops, then we are waiting for some wet conditions. It is pretty much just... that's another 3 seconds. It's pretty much just overcast at the moment, so it's not looking easy. That is as I say, a 3-second for Niffergiant, so making it even more difficult for him to fight. Zingy is very, very close, and he really does want to make an overtake. So he's kind of thinking, okay, I don't really need to make a pit stop, so I can actually have a look at going for an overtake instead. But no, decides to actually follow what I was saying on the last lap, and he is going to go for the severe undercut and try and have an advantage. I would have said lap 16 would have been a severe undercut, but everybody's still trying to extend it a little bit harder. So Zingy is going to go for that medium tyre right here, and he'll be good to go to the end. But maybe you are supposed to do 20 laps on the hards. Maybe I'm absolutely delusional. So, well, there you go. It's how it goes sometimes. Niffergiant loses the position to Sebi as they're going side by side up the hill. Didn't even realise he was attacking. He's gonna go for the move. But was he off track? I don't know. Was he off track? I don't know. Regardless, he's got the move done, and Sebi is not going to exactly be happy, but he's tried to make it to avoid himself being overtaken by Zingy. Now these guys will have lost each other a little bit of time, which will always help Zingy, although Zingy's tyres, they are slightly cold, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's an interesting situation right there. Got to be careful on that one, and we'll have to look at it later on. But here we go. Who's going to make the next pit stop? Is it going to be the top two? No, they're going to stay out. Niffergiant, no, it's going to pit. No, they did go to the pit lane, the top two. So they're all reacting to Zingy. They're not allowing him to get a severe undercut. They're just going to react immediately to try and cover him off. Eichel are going to stay out. He wants to go a little bit longer. And that is very, very unfortunate there for Niffergiant as he's slowed down by the AI car of Dave Raptors. Dave Raptors is not going to be disappointed, but that really doesn't help Niffo. Niffo actually had damage on his front wing, so he's definitely going to lose out here. Don't know where he got damaged. That must have been near the start, of course, because he just dropped off kind of as he's almost losing the car. That's absolutely incredible control there to save that on those cold tyres. He's now on that first set with a full front wing. Let's see what his pace is and if he can get anything done right here. His teammate just up in front is probably not going to give him too much resistance. Sebi, he is 3.5 seconds behind. That fighting between Niffergiant and Sebi really did change things quite significantly. Absolutely incredible right there. Zingy, he sits in P4 and he's right behind Dave Raptors and Cohen. He is now in has a chance at winning this race. Lap 19 out of 35. Still a long way to go in this race, but he does now have a DRS train and a time penalty to try and get over here. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible for him to win. Goes purple though, as he is absolutely rapid. He has 1 lap older tyres, but he has warm tyres, and that is very, very important here. And we could see him get a good exit, but it's not good enough to get too close to Dave Raptors. Goes for fastest lap, but it won't change anything too much. Dave Raptors is going to close up significantly. He's going to go for the overtake on Cohen. Cohen leaves minimal space, and that is going to force him to back off. Dave Raptors getting a time penalty. He's, I'm sure, going to have something to say about that. He will not be wanting to take that, of course. Cohen, very, very tight room given, and unfortunately that's Niffergiant making a mistake on this medium tyre, but that was absolutely incredible. Zingy is loving this right now as he's just waiting for these guys to have some sort of collision, and then he'll be able to make the move. Sparks flying, looking very nice under the cars, but that is the least of their worries. Issues here and there for many drivers as we see the pit stops kick in. Always creates some sort of drama, controversy if you like. Now, Zingy, he's going to try and probably have a look at an overtake, but he doesn't have the ERS to back it up. Whereas the cars in front, they do have the energy to back up an overtake. So he's currently just stuck and waiting for these guys to do something. So for now, he's just going to have to sit back and relax. And Dave Raptors also, he tried to give it an opportunity or give it an attempt to make an overtake, but this time he's decided to sit back and just let it happen for now. Let Cohen lead the way if he's going to close the door
pretty hard. I'm not saying that it wasn't enough space, but I'm saying that that's probably not going to be Dave Raptors trying to, or accepting that time penalty, I should say. Don't want to guarantee that it gets removed, but it looked pretty tricky. Further up the field, Heischler, he's just kind of driving on his own at the moment, maybe hoping for a late safety car, which would definitely be very ideal as it would put him into the lead, but time penalties, of course, would cause him to struggle a little bit with that. He is going to go a lot later on, a lot fresher tyres, which could possibly help him. We'll see. That is going to now allow Cohen to regain the lead of this race. That's a 5-second for speeding in the pit lane from Heischler, unfortunately. More issues for him. Now, no one making an overtake once again. Zingy just sitting back, relaxing, but not saving energy. The top two getting very, very close as Dave Raptors actually pushed for an overtake. So they were going to give it a shot, but they weren't able to get a move just yet. They're going to go defensive, Cohen, and he's going to swoop around the outside. Gave it a shot, but it wasn't enough. And he's going to have to sit behind again. So now he's used even more energy and he still hasn't got it done. Cohen just sitting in front and Zingy is waiting behind. This is scary stuff here for Dave Raptors because he can't really do anything else other than try to overtake. Right now, Zingy, he's just watching the show and letting it happen, although he does need to try and think about maybe making an overtake sooner rather than later. Otherwise, he won't be able to extend that 3 seconds. Grosjean and Gilly switching positions. Grosjean makes that move on Gilly as Gilly's still going strong on that hard tyre. He wants to continue even further. And yeah, that just shows how much time he has now lost by continuing to go out. Nifojan almost regaining that gap and going to be able to make a move, I am going to assume, on this lap because the tyre difference is just going to be so extreme. No overtakes going to be attempted just yet. I think these guys are all going to stay where they are. Zingy is nice and close, but once again, as I said, DRS train, it's going to be so difficult to actually make an overtake. Once again, he's not really saving any energy. It's not looking too easy for him. However, the top two, they're fighting. They're running each other out of energy, wasting tyre wear. That is only going to help Zingy, who's sitting right behind MP3 of this current train. He might even try and go for a bit of a dive. Now he spots the flashing light on the back of that Mercedes. It's only a little bit of a flashing light, but it's enough to indicate that he is getting a little bit weaker. So this might be my chance. Nifojan has made that move, so he's going to try and hunt down Grosjean if he possibly can, but once again, that time penalty situation for him is going to be absolutely crippling. Slightly defensive, Dave Raptors went, and he did a very good job at making sure Zingy knew, don't go for the overtake, I'm still fighting for this win. Not really sure if Zingy actually cares about that though. He's just thinking about himself at the moment and wanting to go for an overtake. He's going to use the ERS that he has available. Dave Raptors is also going to use everything he possibly can. Cohen is going to be close up there. Dave Raptors is going to defend to the inside. He didn't actually go for the overtake. A switchback available for Zingy on the traction, and I think he might have that done. Now to the inside line. Traction should be superior for Dave Raptors. Zingy's going to try and run him as wide as he possibly can. Almost contact, I think. And that is going to be Zingy making that move. Now he's going to get a clean run to Cohen, but he has no energy to get anything done. Absolutely anything. So it's going to be a long old wait. And I think by the time he is able to make an overtake, it might be too late to extend on time penalties. It's going to be very, very crucial right here. Lots of things to think about, even though we're not to the end of this race. There's small margins that are going to cost drivers a lot later on when we get to the closing laps of this race. How is it going to play out? I do not know. We shall see. .1 seconds, Nifojan and Grosjean. Watch how that changes, if it changes at all. It could do. And we could see some crazy stuff going on. Zingy now has that clean air on Cohen. Cohen's actually used all their energy already. They used all their energy to stay ahead on that last lap. I thought they had a significant amount of battery, which would have allowed them to keep a significant advantage, but no. This time, now Cohen has managed to actually run out of battery, so they are pretty much equal with the AlphaTauri of Zingy, and Dave Raptors is also, of course, in the same situation. So they're kind of in the same train as they were, slightly reshuffled, but all with the same amount of energy. So it's all equal right now. It's just pure pace and setup based, whether you can make an overtake or not. And of course, DRS will be a factor. But yeah, Cohen leads the way. He has the advantage on time penalties. Maybe if he has the DRS on Zingy, he'll be good to go, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not quite sure how things will change. There was a yellow there for one of the Williams. I believe Sebi had a slight little moment as he loses about 2 seconds to Dave Raptors. So close is Zingy to the back of the Aston Martin, and as I was saying, he should have the advantage, but time penalty wise, I don't know how this is going to play out. He's going to make that overtake on the DRS. And Cohen, is he going to try and send it back to the inside? He will try and send it back to the inside. Racing room is just about given, but there's contact on the exit. Dave Raptors will swoop through, and Zingy once again is down the order. Down to P3 after all that effort trying to make it to the lead, and he's now 5 seconds. 5 seconds behind. He's going to be furious, pushing as hard as he can. He's got about 9.5 laps to try and have a go at the race leaders once again. And that's not going to be impossible, but he's going to be so angry with that one. Cohen's not going to be happy with himself either. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Wow, wow, wow. No one is safe in this Grand Prix. It is not easy at all. Changing in every way possible. Dave Raptors now leads the race, and he has a possible 3-second time penalty. We will never know until we get to the final stage of this race, of course. Cohen sits in P2. He has the DRS, but that contact is not ideal for him. Zingy also, he had an issue earlier on, of course, so everybody has some sort of situation that they've got themselves in this race, which is never nice for you as a driver, but sometimes it happens. Nipojan, he's close to the back of Grosjean, and he's been closing in pretty significantly in recent laps. He will probably want to have a go at some point soon, of course. If they're down nice and close, of course the top two are close, although I say that, it's just got to a 1 second margin now, so all of a sudden Dave Raptors is finding a rhythm and he might be able to break away a bit here, and that would deem him somewhat safe. But Zingy, he's got pace on that car, he's got it to 4.8 seconds already, he's found the rhythm. It's Gilly and Egapro switching positions into turn 12. Egapro getting that done. Very good job from him. Making it work. And lovely stuff. Gilly struggling on the rear potentially as they're still going strong on this hard tyre. They're going to go for the soft tyres within the next few laps, I guess, and go for a fastest lap, sorry. But yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Side by side, Grosjean to the inside, now to the outside. Nipojan
He will be there. Oh, no, he spins. And he's in the wall. I do not believe it. Absolute tragedy. Nifo has no front wing. Grosjean doesn't believe what has just happened as he gets onto the curb, loses the car. The safety car is going to be deployed, but Grosjean's given up. The safety car's just been deployed. He had a perfect opportunity to get back into the race, but he has given up just as it was deployed. I do not believe it. Crucial in this race, and now all of a sudden Zingy is once again close. Dave Raptors dives into the pit lane. Cohen dives into the pit lane, but almost ended it all. Absolutely. Oh wow, that was very, very close. The safety car being deployed has just brought chaos to the entire grid. Cohen's going to lose some time to that, but I don't know who is going to be benefiting from this from the most. Gilly, you could say, because they haven't made a pit stop, but honestly, they've lost so much time. I don't really see that as an advantage anymore. On to the medium tyre for Dave Raptors and Cohen, whereas Zingy and Sebi have both gone for the softs. Maybe Cohen and Dave Raptors used all their tyres in qualifying and they weren't able to go onto the fresh set. Absolutely crazy in the last few laps of this race, and we will get a sprint to the end. Now, sorry for sneezing on live stream, I do apologise. But let's see. Soft tyres, they'll be good to go to the end, but they will overheat, and that is going to be what Cohen and Dave Raptors have tried to cover off. Eager Pro also trying to cover that off, and so is Gilly. But the pace advantage that Zingy and Sebi and Heischler will all have, I think it's going to be pretty significant. Let's have a look at the time penalty, shall we? I do apologise, but as we speak, my allergic reaction to hay fever is getting worse and worse and worse by the second. I really can't control it, so I'm just going to have to carry on, and I hope you don't mind my very froggy voice. But yeah, there's nothing we can do. Dave Raptors leads the way with a 3-second time penalty that might be removed unless he got himself an extra warning, then it might be legitimate. Cohen, the only one without a time penalty. Zingy has a 3-second. Sebi, nothing. Heischler has a 6-second. Everybody is in a bit of a situation, like I said. So some people, and I hate to say this, might be getting themselves some post-race penalties, which is always going to be very, very tricky to deal with. Now, that would mean Sebi, who, if I'm correct, hasn't really been involved in too much controversy, would be benefiting from this absolutely brilliantly. The question is, has Dave Raptors been involved in anything enough to give himself a time penalty? And has he got a legitimate 3-second now? Has he got too many warnings for it to be removed? Alrighty, let's have a quick look. If we don't go in this lap 31, we'll be restarting at lap 35. I don't think we are going to go in this lap, so we'll wait a little bit longer because you never know with this game. I think Dave Raptors is preempting it a little bit as he dropped back slightly from the safety car. Gilly is nice and close. No, the safety car is in. Okay, I was going to say it wasn't, but it is in. The safety car is in this lap. Dave Raptors is going to do the restart, and Cohen is going to be the one to react. When are they going to go for it? Is he going to try and leave it late to prevent Cohen from getting a possible overtake
down the straight, or is he going to make it early? It's going to leave it very, very late. When will he go for it? When will Cohen react? We're waiting. We're waiting. And he goes for the safety car restart at the latest possible moment. Absolutely crazy carnage behind. Zingy trying to make an overtake already. Is he going to be able to get it done? Round the outside, he swoops up the Aston Martin onto the curb. Not going to be any traction there, my friend. He's going to have to back off. He now tries to look to the inside, but he's not far enough alongside Sebi, sitting behind, watching this happen. He's now nice and close as a bit of contact with Zingy. Car off in the background. That's, oh, what a shame. Eager Pro having issues off the restart. Nipojan, there was a Haas. It was ghosted at the restart there. I don't know what was going on, but it looked pretty mental. Devon Young and P7, Gilly and Eager Pro, of course, having that issue. What a shame for them. They're still in points, but it's not what they wanted at all. You never want that. Dave Rout just leads the way on the medium tyre. Cohen sits in P2 as he manages to just about hold on to that position. Zingy gave it his best shot. Would that have been his only shot? I don't know. The soft tyres do tend to get pretty hot pretty quickly around this circuit, and usually people don't really consider using a soft tyre when they make their setup. However, we are in overcast conditions, so the track is going to be cooler, and that will allow people to have nice tyre temperatures. Cohen makes a mistake, goes off the circuit, allows Zingy to get a perfect run. He nails the inside line, and I think that's probably going to be it. The soft tyres should have a significant advantage. The move is made. Zingy into P2. Cohen sits behind, and now it's all slipping away. Dave Raptors leads by about a second. Can he hold on to take this race win on track? Is he going to do it? I do not know. We've got a couple more laps to go. It's not going to take long. DRS will be available towards the end of this race. Everything is to play for. Sebi sitting behind. They just need a little bit more to get to that DRS range and they'll be good to go. Heisler, they've got a lot of pressure on their teammates, so this could change things very, very easily. Nipojan so close to the back of that Williams. It's not looking easy for any driver on the grid right now. The pressure is immense. They all want to hold on to position. They all want to make positions. No one wants to give anything up right now. Lap 32 out of 35. We're about to start lap 33 out of 35. That's another time penalty for Nipojan as he gets a further 3 seconds to his name, and that is going to make it all the more so difficult to actually get anything done. Dave Raptors go to a fastest lap as Zingy responds immediately. Lap 33 out of 35. We've got 3 laps to go of this race. Not long at all. And DRS, I don't know. It's not available just yet. It's going to be available on the next lap, I believe. When we cross the line, of course, or when we get out that final corner, I believe. Dave Raptors, he is nice and far ahead as of now, but Zingy's got an entire lap pretty much, or two sectors to close in on Dave Raptors and possibly make an overtake, but he's got no energy. Both of them have already used all their energy to try and have an advantage in the early stages. Then they're going to have to save on a couple laps and then use it on the final lap. But at Hungary, it's not easy to save ERS. It's very easy to lose it though. So I don't think we're going to see anybody gaining too much ERS until the very... Well, no, we're not at all. Not even to the end of this race. It's just going to stay as it is. And it's going to be on pure racing if we're going to see any overtakes. Cohen isn't able to hold on to DRS range. Sebi, despite Cohen not being in DRS range, he isn't able to close in enough either. So it's all changing up in the last stages of this race. DRS is available for Zingy, and he's going to close up now. DRS, that rear wing is open, but he doesn't have enough of an advantage as of now to close up too much on the straight. He closes up significantly in the braking zone, and I think if he wants to make something on track, then he's gonna have to send it into maybe the chicane. It's gonna be very, very tight if he does it, but he might have to consider it. We're on the penultimate lap. He's only got a handful of overtaking opportunities left if he wants to at least get in front on track. And of course, if you can get in front on track, that does give you some sort of an advantage. Currently, Cohen would win this as of now on time penalties.
And I don't know if Sebi is close enough. He's going to be in a bit of a pickle at the moment. Although, if he can find a little bit more time, he might have a chance at possibly winning this race. Looks very, very tough out there with those soft tyres as they do start to get pretty warm. Now, lap 5 on these soft tyres, almost lap 6 to finish this race. It's so difficult to manage. But it's what you've got, it's what you've chosen. Maybe the medium tyre runners are very, very, very happy with their decision at this stage. Here we go, the final lap of the Grand Prix. Dave Raptors holds on for one final time. Zingy's not going to be close enough into turn 1 just yet. He had a little bit of a look. He almost made contact with the back of that Mercedes. That would have been absolutely devastating. But Dave Raptors, he holds on despite DRS being available to that AlphaTauri. He's done a phenomenal job. Final 2 sectors to go. Will Zingy try and send it? We've got Nipperjan and Sebi. Nipperjan and Sebi side by side up the hill. Sebi once again has the advantage, but round the outside goes Nipperjan. The space isn't left, and that time I think that was all that Nipperjan could do, and I think that will be his move gain. Very good job right there for him. Zingy not close enough to Dave Raptors, and it looks like he is still going to hold on track unless he can get a final sector absolutely perfect. It's not going to work out for him. Dave Raptors has got a couple more corners to go, and he is going to win the first race for the Saturday tier in the summer season. Zingy using that inside curb, trying to gain everything he possibly can. Dave Raptors round the final corner, and he's going to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. Cohen will win on time penalties. He takes P1 for now. Absolutely incredible. Sebi will have to settle for P4 after all of that, and Gilly to P5. How about that? Devon Young P6. Heischler getting that 3 second at the very end there. Drops him to P7. Nipperjan P8. And Igapro will have to settle for P9 after all of that. How about that? That was absolutely mental. I do not believe what I've just seen. This is going to be an interesting one post-race. That's all I can say. Zingy gets driver of the day. He made a lot of overtakes that race. So fair enough to him. Cohen, he's going to take the top step of the podium for now. And I think he's going to enjoy it while he can, just to see what goes on later on in the reports after this race. For now, we will say it is as it is. Cohen takes the win. Dave Raptors P2. Zingy with a fastest lap in P3. Then we've got Sebi, Gilly, Devon Young, Heischler, Nipperjan, Igapro finishing off the order, and DNFing was Grajak, Tival, and Mikash. We're going to look for the race director just in case if we need to a little bit later on. And then, of course, to the pit stops as well, just in case, which is always useful. We didn't get it yesterday, but we get it today. We will be back for the post-race interviews. We will see you in a minute.
Hello everyone and welcome to the post-race interviews of the Hungarian Grand Prix. That was pretty insane. Hey Raptors, you crossed the line first. I don't really know where to start, so I'm going to let you explain it, but yeah, that was absolutely insane. Are you happy with the performance overall?
Yeah, of course. It was a great. I mean, considering I was like 8, 9 tenths off in qualifying, to be up with the leader's pace and just holding on with DRS, it was good. Coming into the race, there was a lot of carnage on the first lap, and it got me into P2, and I just basically stayed behind Cohen until and stayed with him with the pit stop, so I didn't lose the DRS. I had a couple of little goes at him, tried to get past him, and just ended up losing my ERS, and Zingy got past me. And then there was just a little incident. I didn't really see it that much because I was focusing so much. Got ahead and then just tried to hold my own in P1. The safety car wasn't well timed, so I was really pushing to get ahead of Stebby, who ended up dropping back a bit, but he wasn't within like 3 seconds with 2 laps to go, so I was having to push quite hard. But other than that, I mean, you come across the line first, even though I've got a penalty, I'm still going to take the result.
Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely incredible, and it's always great to see you on track. There's always some epic racing, so thank you very much for that. Home Grand Prix to finish off the F122 game. Do you think you can do well there? It's a sprint race as well.
I think with the sprint race, it can make it quite interesting, but it's never been one of my stronger tracks. But as long as you can stay in the DRS, anything can happen. You just stay in the train and you'll be fine, realistically.
Yeah, you're right, definitely. That's Silverstone for you. DRS is very powerful there. Well, thank you very much today. It's been a pleasure to watch. And we'll see you next time. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Wetting so much.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. Well done today. Awesome job.
Cheers.
And we move on to Haish. That was crazy. Very, very crazy. A last-minute time penalty, unfortunately. Made it incredibly difficult, though. Can you take us through that race?
Yeah, lap 1 was kinda... Or actually, I want to first talk about quali. I had one run where I went into turn 1 and someone was moving on the exit of the first corner, which was quite special that someone does that. But hey, still got P2 somehow, which I'm so happy with. Actually, I didn't expect that at all. I have no pace normally around this track, so I was quite happy with my starting position. But at the same time, that was kind of my fuck-up point during the start of the race, because yeah, Cohen is known for his good starts with traction control, and Zingy as well with his controller, and those two were behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So those two immediately overtook me at the start, and I had to back out because they didn't see each other, and it was a closing room. So yeah, I had to lift off, which caused the other drivers to get a go on me, and dropped me in total 4 places, but then Zingy spun, so 3 places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then I don't know actually what happened with, who was it? Mikash.
Right.
Into the chicane. He touched me, I think, yeah. And that spun him and crashed him out somehow. It wasn't a hard hit, from what I saw back. Yeah. It was quite a send from him. He wasn't alongside at the braking point, then braked and was kinda alongside. I left him just a little bit of room. And yeah, then he hit me in the rear and he spun, but he hit my rear, so I think I did nothing wrong. Yeah, from then I got some few hits from on my back during the VC from the other Red Bull Devon. I have to rewatch that. He claims that I broke, but so far I know it didn't. And from there it was kinda just driving around, trying to catch up to the others, but couldn't really get in the DRS because when I push too hard, I'm gonna make a mistake. So it was meant to be. Zingy overtook me, but I didn't really care about that. And yeah, penalties didn't help in the end with safety car. So drop down. That was a long, long speech.
Yeah, but it explains everything, so that's good, that's good. Crazy race. It's a shame for the start, but it does explain a lot, because I was very confused at what happened there. But great effort to stay in the race after what we just had. It was absolutely hectic. You've managed to get to the end. On
Without
to
a spin.
Yeah, that's true. On to Silverstone. Obviously, I'm not sure if you're going to make it, but do you like the circuit more than Hungary or not?
I do like it more. I have more pace around there, I would say. And this for Saturday, it's just or just about I'm gonna make it. Like maybe I'm gonna join during sprint or just before sprint, I would say.
Fair enough.
If that's okay.
Yeah, hopefully we can see you there. If not, no worries at all. And it's been a pleasure for the 22 game.
Same.
One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
I will review.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
We move on to Gilly. Gilly, that was an interesting strategy. I didn't think it was going to work, and then it did. Kind of.
I'm just that good, you know. I was going to go 34 on the rear wing, which was already sketchy, and then as we were loading in, Zingy told me to go 32, so I had to do that, which was a very bad decision.
Right. Okay.
So I just decided I'm going to go till my tyres pop and see what happens, and yeah, I locked into it and caught the sausages in front with time penalties after the safety car, so I'll take that.
Once again, capitalising on those time penalties. I mean, it works. It works. You've got 2 P2s in the F1.5 Championship. Are you going to go for P2 this season in the summer season?
Well, with Zingy and Nifo actually racing for points and that, I don't think P2 is going to be possible. And yeah.
Never say never. You're the
I'm
winner
aiming
of
for
the
top
winter
10.
season. You're the winner.
Consider I qualified 11th. I'm aiming for top 10. No, I didn't qualify. Almost qualified 11th.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you very much today. It was a crazy one. Silverstone, do you like that circuit?
No.
Do you like sprint races?
Yeah.
Okay, so at least there's something to look forward to. That's
It means I got 2 chances to kill my teammate.
fair enough. That's always a positive, of course, to consider. Hopefully that goes well for you there, and hopefully you can do whatever you intend on doing. I'm not going to comment any further than that. Teammate-wise, one last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Big brained it.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today.
I've got a message from Nifo as well. He said,
Okay.
GG to all, had a good race.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. Well done, Nifo, as well.
See you later.
And we move on to Cohen. Cohen, as of now, you are today's race winner. Redemption from yesterday. How about that? Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm very happy, of course. I didn't think I would be winning this race because I arrived such shortly before I could race, so I had no preparation time or anything. But yeah, I'm happy with how it went today. A bit unfortunate what happened to me between me and Singy, of course. I think it's a bit of a game physics thing, but it will be reviewed and the right decision will probably be made. So that's all good. Yeah, very happy.
Yeah, it's a shame it's happened, but obviously it's happened, so there's nothing you can really do now other than wait. Hopefully for your sake, of course, I hope it goes well on your end. But still, as of now, you've won the race. Hope you can enjoy that. Moving on to the next race, do you think you can carry the good momentum into Silverstone?
Well, my quali pace is probably not that good on Silverstone, but the race pace is pretty good. I did a league race there last time, and my pace was very decent. So yeah, we'll just try to make it to the top 3 probably with Nifo and Zingy also being there, which makes it of course a bit harder, as Gilly also said. But yeah, I'm in for a challenge, of course.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, hopefully that goes well for you there. Hopefully you can carry that good momentum. And we'll see you next time. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
My shoulder hurts.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. Well done today. Awesome job. And that's been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next week for the final event in the F1 22 game at Silverstone. It will be a sprint race, and it will be using dynamic weather conditions. It's going to be absolutely crazy. I hope you can join us there. And of course, after that, we will see you in the F1 23 game. Are you ready? I definitely am. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.